Rupert Lowe has once again taken the floor in Parliament, and this time his words hit hard. In a fiery speech, he accused the system of losing its moral compass, warning that people are now being questioned or punished simply for what they say online. He didn't hold back, arguing that what was meant to protect justice has turned into a tool for controlling speech and silencing opinions. Many across the UK share this concern that free expression is slowly being squeezed in ways that would have been unthinkable years ago. In today's video, we break down exactly what Lowe said, why it matters, and what it could mean for the future of free speech in Britain. Before we dive in, make sure to like, subscribe, and support the channel, because these are conversations that can't be ignored.
Well, thank you, Sir Roger. It's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship. And I'm grateful to the Petitions Committee for granting time for this extremely important debate following our successful petition. Most importantly, I want to thank the more than 190,000 British people who signed the petition that we initiated, calling for an end to the creeping use of prison as a punishment for what people say online. We wouldn't be sitting here today without their support. I think that pays credit to this petition system, one of the better functioning arms of Parliament. I want to begin by welcoming Lucy Connolly and her husband who are here today. She is one of the many ordinary citizens who's been swept up in the chaotic and inconsistent enforcement of our online speech laws. Her courage in speaking openly about her experience has helped expose a growing problem, namely that the British state is now more willing to imprison somebody for a social media post than for a rape. That is not justice, that is not proportionate, that is certainly not the mark of a free country. I will give way.
And I do thank you for bringing this petition to this committee. Can you cite what analysis he bases that comment on about people being more likely to be in prison for a social media tweet than rape?
I'm sure the honourable gentleman has heard of the Pakistani rape gangs, which are currently the subject of my crowdfunder. And when you read the report that is coming out in March, I'm sure you'll agree with me. We are witnessing the steady expansion of what are essentially speech crimes, offences where there is no violence, no real threat of violence, and often no identifiable victim at all. Yet people are facing dawn raids, criminal records, ankle tags, and even lengthy prison sentences for words, for arguments, for opinions that somebody somewhere claims to find offensive. I have my own personal experience, a late-night police raid initiated by false allegations from former Reform Party colleagues relating solely to words I had allegedly spoken. The party of free speech, indeed. The Reform leadership's bitter attempt to see me in prison failed, but too many others do not escape the consequences of such vile misuse of the system. We now have laws being used to punish subjective offence, based on the most fragile interpretation of harm, enforced through discretionary and far too often politically skewed policing. A post that is deemed sharp criticism 1 month somehow becomes grossly offensive the next. It is arbitrary, it is inconsistent, and it is fundamentally incompatible with a healthy democracy. I receive multiple death threats, yet the police take no action. Just one example. Online influencer Shola Mos Shogbamimu recently posted on X, and I quote, "I am against the death penalty, but for you, Rupert Lowe, I'll gladly make the exception." This post currently has 2 million views. The Met Police have said no action will be taken. I don't want people in prison for social media posts. I also don't want such obvious two-tier policing. Shola walks free, yet Lucy Connolly was imprisoned for one foolish social media post soon deleted. Where is the fairness in that? If these ludicrous laws are to be implemented, then it must be done fairly, with no political bias. Evidently, that is not currently happening. Is our prison system so efficient, so functional, so unoccupied that we have the capacity to put a young mother like Lucy in prison for more than 300 days? I think not. When rapists and murderers are walking free, even being released early, there is zero justification for imprisoning Lucy and the many others like her, particularly when the influence of such questionable legal aid is so heavily involved. We must be clear. No free society can survive with a people afraid to speak. Democracy depends on robust argument, dissent, and the ability to challenge orthodoxy. As George Orwell so presciently stated, if liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear. Parliament needs to draw a deep line in the sand. In Britain, nobody should ever be sent to prison for an offensive social media post, full stop. That requires legislative reform. We need clearer thresholds in law, a robust statutory requirement that prosecutorial decisions consider freedom of expression, and a prohibition on custodial sentences for pure speech cases. The poison of two-tier justice must be forensically extracted from our judicial system. This debate is not about whether we are prepared to live in a country where liberty exists only for those who never cause offence, an impossible and undesirable standard. To Lucy, and to every other person who has found themselves dragged through the system for a post online, you deserve better from your government, and I sincerely hope today marks the beginning of a serious rethink in this House. Thank you.
In the end, Rupert Lowe's closing remarks cut through the political noise in a way few MPs managed to do. He speaks plainly, without spin or scripted lines, and confronts issues many people feel are being ignored by those in power. Whether you agree with him or not, it's hard to deny the impact of his words. At a time when trust in leadership is low and politics feels disconnected from everyday life, his direct and unfiltered approach stands out. For many, he represents something that's been missing in Westminster: honesty, clarity, and a willingness to challenge the system. His growing influence has sparked real debate about the future and whether voices like his could shape what comes next, not through party loyalty, but through values that resonate with ordinary people. Now, we want to hear from you. Do you agree with his stance, or do you see things differently? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this discussion useful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more in-depth British political content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.